तुमको मीत बनाने से। झरनों से संगीत है झरता, पत्थर के टकराने से। तूफान भी तोहफा बन जाता, तुमको मीत बनाने से। प्रभु तुमको मीत बनाने से। सागर रास्ता दे देता, पर्वत भी झुक जाता है। सागर रास्ता दे देता, पर्वत भी झुक जाता है। नामुमकिन मुमकिन हो जाता, वक्त भी रुक जाता है। हम जाने या तुम जानो, हम जाने या तुम जानो, क्या मिलता प्रीत लगाने से। तूफान भी तोहफा बन जाता, तुमको मीत बनाने से। प्रभु को मीत बनाने से। याचना ना कामना, तुमसे कुछ ना मांगे हम। याचना ना कामना, तुमसे कुछ ना मांगे हम। योग करें हम, योग्य बने, प्रभु काम तुम्हारे आए हम। कष्ट कटे सब विघ्न मिटे, कष्ट कटे सब विघ्न मिटे। लगन की अग्न लगाने से, तूफान भी तोहफा बन जाता, तुमको मीत बनाने से। प्रभु को मीत बनाने से। झरनों से संगीत है झरता, पत्थर के टकराने से। तूफान भी तोहफा बन जाता, तुमको मीत बनाने से। प्रभु तुमको मीत बनाने से। हाँ, प्रभु को मीत बनाने से। हो, तुमको मीत बनाने से। Press the button and increase volume. Press it. Okay, and increase volume. Thanks. Om Shanti. Good morning, everyone. Lovely. Lovely to see all of you. Although Madhuban's home, right? And it was very, very beautiful. In one way, it was the first time that we had the teachers' retreat that we usually have in Madhuban, and Dadi Janki was not present. So we definitely felt her absence, but the team that was responsible for decorating the hall and that had huge pictures of all the ancestor souls. So we were surrounded by them. And it was really a deep feeling that, yes, they have gone on to play another part, a more subtle part, but they're with us and they will always be with us. And that feeling that at every level, there's the kind of subtle support from them, whether it's in terms of Sakash, whatever we need to settle and clear out and learn, and the steps we need to take forward, it's their Sakash that's supporting us and guiding us. But also there's the feeling that it was really, I think what it has done is that just being with the family, there was a feeling of how it was very clear and distinct that the family is moving at another level. There's a deeper maturity, a deeper stability, and it's like we're all moving forward together. That is the feeling. The theme for the teachers' retreat was being unlimited, connected, co-creative, and compassionate. And really that sense of connection was deep. And the Madhuban theme as well was togetherness, the power of togetherness. And that is the feeling that, yes, we all individuals and we all have our individual journey and our connection, but there's a feeling of all of us moving together to that one beautiful destination of the golden age. And the kind of togetherness that was felt, it just really felt that very soon the new world is going to come. It isn't like a wish, or it isn't a feeling like a belief. It's like, but there's a feeling that, yeah, we can see us getting ourselves there. We can see ourselves creating that new world. So that was a very lovely feeling, and awareness and vibration in Madhuban. So today's Murli is very apt in a way. Baba's saying, imbibe the word point. And it reminded me of something that Charlie Bai shared, that many years ago he had asked Jagdish Bai, what is the main effort I have to make as a Brahmin, And Jagdish Bai's point was 3 things. Be the point, apply the point, and remember the point. And it was nice because it summed it up very nicely. And I think the first aspect that, no matter how old we grow in Gyan, the most important effort is what? Being soul conscious, isn't it? And Jayanti Ben raised something very lovely. She said, the confluence age, there's one special thing about it. And that is, it is a confluence of the old and the new. And on the one hand, we're giving birth to a new awareness, a new consciousness, but we're still living in the old world. So she said, we are in our 84th birth, but in an 83rd body. and it raised a few things, because the 83rd body that we had has its own set of culture and sanskaras and understanding and mindset and attitudes as well. And so we've taken a Brahmin birth. So it means we have knowledge. And knowledge means we have understanding of what is truth. However, we have to constantly check ourselves, that is my understanding of truth matching my attitudes? Is my understanding of truth matching my words and my drishti and my actions? Because a lot of the time that's where the distinction is. And it requires that deep practice of soul consciousness. And in sometimes when we look at soul consciousness, there's two levels of soul consciousness. One is, reminding myself I'm eternal and that I'm bodiless. And we can only go beyond the pool of the sanskaras of the 83rd birth through the practice of being bodiless. Because it's only when we become bodiless that we can really almost like reset everything in our consciousness. One of the things that, what happens for us is that everything we do, everything we experience, everything we see or hear, it leaves an impression. And Dadi used to use the word chit, that it's like a memory track that gets accumulated with everything. And so very often what happens is when we face a new scene or whatever, we look at that new scene or situation, but what's sitting in our chit influences how I see it and how I interpret it. And it triggers the old attitudes and the old behaviors that we hold. So how do we clear that chit? If we knew how to take our brushes out and scrub it clean, we'll all do that, won't we? Because that really influences us a lot. And so really that feeling that it is the experience of being bodiless that clears the chit. Because when I am an eternal soul in Paramdham, I have no memory. I don't know what my past was. I don't even think of having a future. I don't have thoughts when I am that bodiless soul in Paramdham. So it is that experience of becoming the bodiless soul that actually cleanses the chit, cleanses the pull to the old that I have accumulated. And then the more that gets cleansed, it's for me, soul consciousness is also about being very present to what is now. So every moment is a fresh moment. Every moment is a fresh vision. Every moment is a fresh experience. And so if I'm soul conscious, then it's like, Baba calls the deities royal Buddhas because they don't know. But it's like when I'm present, I'm not, holding opinion. I'm not holding memory. I'm just being there and experiencing things for that moment. And when I am soul conscious, only then can I really pull and stay connected with Baba. And that's why this first thing of being the point is so important. And Baba's saying today very nicely, he's saying, like we know, and the knowledge is like light. But what happens is we still wanting to, we experience also, we see darkness around us. And our tendency is that we're trying to understand that darkness. So we think about it and we analyze it and we process it and that. And Baba's saying, when you see the light and you're still holding on to the darkness, do you call that being sensible? No, it isn't it? It's like know the light and move towards the light. I was remembering, when we did the 21 master classes, one of the classes was by Sister Chrissy from Australia. And she was sharing a story of a friend because her theme was from fear to love. And this sister was on a boat and it was a night cruise. They were having something and she fell off. And so in the dark, in the water, it was completely dark. You couldn't see anything. And you can easily panic then, isn't it, in a situation like that? But she said, as she was like, trying to swim out of that space, where to go, how to go, she seen a light. And it was maybe from the harbor or wherever. So all she did was she's just like followed the light. And that helped her to come to the surface. And of course, then they found her and she survived. But this whole thing of when you see the light, just follow the light. The drama will bring many different scenes and many different situations. And I think one thing to always remember, this is a Tamo Pradhan world. And one of the things is, don't get shocked by the Tamo Pradhan world. Just, we have the knowledge, it is a Tamo Pradhan world, but stay focused on the light. Keep following the light. So just this whole practice of, becoming bodiless so that I quieten my mind. Because I can't quieten my mind any other way. It's only by really deepening that experience of being that eternal soul that silences the mind, and then stay connected to Baba, stay connected to the light. So that's the first thing of being the point. And the second thing is really about applying the point. And the main thing about applying the point is really about putting a full stop to everything. And what gives me the capacity to put a full stop? And it's like putting the full stop is directly connected to my level of faith. It's like I really have to hold on to my faith. And it is out of my love for Baba and my faith that this drama is completely beneficial, and that I am under Baba's canopy of protection. It's that faith that let me draw on that and then put a full stop to drama. So anytime when I start thinking how, why, what, when, etc., it's at those moments that I just have to remind myself, drama is perfect. And one of the things that came as a realization for me is that how is it that I can really put a full stop to the drama is when I also have full acceptance of the drama. And acceptance of the drama is the acceptance that there's perfection in its imperfection. Because things do go wrong, things go up and down, but it's like an acceptance that there is a perfection in this, that it is the way it is, and instead of fighting and resisting the drama, I need to rather, when there's acceptance, then there can be detachment. I can't be detached unless I accept, because sometimes we say I'm detached, but it's like I'm not happy, so I'm just like pushing it away. And I'm saying I'm detached, but that kind of detachment will pull you back to it again and again. But when there's an acceptance that this is what it is, then I can rise above it. And that's the key thing, for us to rise above the drama. Brij Mohan Bhai, he always has very nice examples, practical examples. And he was sharing that when you're in a traffic jam and you want to go fast, what do? You can't push the cars in front of you, right? So he says, you look for an alternative route, right? You need to take a side road or whatever. But even apart from just taking a side road, the quickest way to get to where you need to get to is how? You're think that you've reached there already? No. If you want to move even faster, you have to rise above it, isn't it? If you suddenly take a helicopter and you rise above the traffic, then you go to where you need to go quickly. And that's the thing, not to struggle with the drama. Don't fight it. Check yourself, am I resisting it? Because the more I push, the more it pushes back. So just acceptance, this is what it is, and I rise above it. Become the detached observer. Observe the play. And in order to observe the play and not get entangled in the play, I have to keep a different focus for myself. It was a lovely experience I had in yoga, and the image that came, it's like an oyster on the ocean bed. And, there's many things. There'll be currents that will push it. There'll be rocks that will knock it. There will be scavengers that will try and clamp onto it. All sorts of things will happen. But the focus of the oyster is not to try and fix the outside world that it finds itself in. The focus of the oyster is to continue creating and sustaining its inner world. It's about producing that pearl. That's what the oyster's focus is. And I love that image when it came, that whatever is on the outside, it is what it is. But what am I creating inside? What am I sustaining inside? Ask yourself, what is my inner world like? And if I want to check on my inner world, then I need to check what is the quality of my thoughts, what is my inner attitude, what is my inner preoccupation. That is my inner world. And how much is Baba at the center of that? And how much are other people at the center of that? So it's a real lovely checking point for the self. I sustain and I nourish my inner world. If my inner world, like that pearl that the oyster is focusing on, that becomes my focus, then there's a feeling of deep stability. Then I don't mind what happens in the drama, it will happen. But I know where I'm putting my energy. I know where I'm putting my focus. It's in the creation of that pearl. It's in the creation of that new world. Because one day all these oysters will come to the surface, and we are the pearls that Baba's been creating. So holding on to that image of what is it I'm sustaining, what it is I'm creating. And the third one, remember the point. And yes, that's it. Our breath of life is our remembrance. And really at every step to just check that. And it's almost like to really make that the focus, that how much do I bring Baba at the heart of everything that I'm doing? How much is my intellect connected to Baba? Because the more that I stay connected, that is my protection. There's many, many stories in the Yagya. But so often souls found themselves in situations that were even physically dangerous. But it's like Baba touched the intellect. Do this. Or turn there. Or like Jagdish Bhai's story was a classic, where he was just like 100 meters or so away from the center, and he didn't know, but there was someone who was going to harm him. And as he was walking towards the center, he had this strong thought, take a rickshaw. Now he's just about 100 meters away. Why must he take a rickshaw? It didn't make like sense, but he took a rickshaw. And once he was in the rickshaw, the second thought that came to him, go to the police station, go to the police station. So he followed that voice because it was so strong. And then he took a police escort to the center, and the sisters, they were so relieved because they said, we didn't know how to get hold of you to tell you that there was some kind of danger in a sense. But that's it. Baba will touch the intellect. And sometimes it will seem like a bizarre instruction, like take a rickshaw when you're 100 meters away, but that is Baba's protection. So the more I stay in remembrance, the more quiet my mind becomes. And the more quiet my mind becomes, the more I'm able to hear what Baba is telling me. And I'm not too engrossed in my own sanskaras and my own, thinking, but I'm clear enough to sense what God is telling me and how God is directing me. So very, important aspect of really remembering Baba and making remembrance my key focus and staying, steady in my remembrance, being consistent in my remembrance. So these are things that Baba is really highlighting. And, as Baba said, just fly with zeal and enthusiasm, but to remain light and to remain enthusiastic. Couple of things Baba had shared in the last two Avyak Murlis. One is, he said, make a vow and let that vow be that you don't have any waste thoughts. And in this last Murli, Baba highlighted what leads to waste. And there were three things that he raised. Parchintan, thinking about others. Pardarshan, which means looking at others. And when you think about others and you look at others, you get influenced by others, and that's parmat. So getting influenced by the opinions or ideas of others, that creates the waste for us. So really to let go, and it's really this thing of paying attention that it's one Baba and another. In every breath, in every attitude, in every moment. How do I constantly keep myself connected and centered on one Baba and another? So yes, lots of lovely points that we need to not just remember, but really to consciously practice every day. So today's Murli is of the 10th of January, 94. And the title of the Murli is To Imbibe the One Word Point in your awareness in three ways, and to become an embodiment of it is the means of safety. So to imbibe the one word point in your awareness in three ways, and to become an embodiment of it is the means of safety. The world benefactor, Bap Dada, is seeing all his master world benefactor children. The aim of each child in this Brahmin birth is very elevated. Each one is continuing to fly ahead with the aim of making number one effort The aim of each one is to become number one. But the qualifications for that are number-wise. So why is there a difference between the aim and its qualifications? What creates the distinction there? Baba, the bestower of knowledge, is one. The knowledge is one. The method of yoga is one. The easy and practical example of Sakar Brahma Baba imbibing divine virtues is one. The method of doing service and the one who teaches the way to do service is also one. But the main thing is the study and the sustenance. The one who gives you both of these is one. And there is only one number. And yet, why are the practical qualifications number-wise? Each of you knows yourself, what number you are in terms of imbibing the qualifications. I don't think Baba gives us the number. We give ourselves the number because we know ourselves, right? The main basis of claiming number-wise is the one word point. To experience the point for. Secondly, to put a point to any wasteful thought, word or deed. That is, to put a full stop. Thirdly, to churn the many points of knowledge and dharana and use them for yourself and for service at the right time. Point is just one word, but to put it into your awareness and become an embodiment of it in all its three meanings, the difference is created in this. All of you have the awareness, but you become number-wise in becoming an embodiment of this awareness. So transformation starts with awareness. And that's why knowledge, Gyan, gives us awareness. But I have to apply my awareness. It's not enough just to be aware and to remember. I have to apply it. Then it becomes a sanskara. Otherwise it just remains there. So all of you have awareness, but you become number-wise in becoming an embodiment of this awareness. Often Bab Dada sees how all the children become very clever in having awareness. It should be like this. You even think this is right and this is wrong. You have this knowledge emerged, but knowledge means knowledge. For knowledge, it is said, knowledge is light, knowledge is might. Where there is light and might, there will not be the feeling it should be like this. Then you think, Bab Dada also says this, and you have to become this. This is the knowledge you have. So we have the understanding. However, what do you have inside yourself at that time? When you remain thinking, it should be like this, it should be like this, it means that you are not able to use knowledge in the form of light and might at the right time. This reminds me of something that Brij Mohan Bhai shared. He said, there is right and there is wrong, but wisdom is to rise above that and to stay focused on what you need to contribute in that space. Yeah. So Baba is saying, when you remain thinking it should be like this, it should be like this, it means that you are not able to use knowledge in the form of light and might at the right time. This is why it is said that although you have it in your awareness, you lack the power to become an embodiment of it. When you have light, that is the enlightenment of what is wrong and what is right, that this is darkness and that this is light, that this is wasteful and that is powerful, then while knowing some way to be darkness and yet to remain in that darkness, would that be called being enlightened or sensible? If you are not enlightened, then what are you? A devotee? Or only half enlightened? Don't know how you stay half enlightened. One eye open, one eye closed. What would you call it if even while understanding it to be wrong, someone remains under the influence of wrong actions, thoughts, sanskaras, or nature? What should the title of that one be? Seeing the speed of time, Bab Dada is repeatedly drawing the children's attention. He's doubly underlining the word attention. Baba said the last Avyak Murli, attention please. So in English he's saying, he's underlining the word attention. The Tamoguni power of the elements and the power of the subtle royal wisdom of Maya are also carrying out their task at a fast speed. So Maya also has her wisdom, to be aware of that. And they will continue to do so. It is easy to know the fearsome form of the elements, but you need to pay greater attention in order to remain unshakable in the fierce upheaval of the vices. You are even deceived in knowing the subtle forms of Maya. Maya has such a royal form that she makes you experience wrong to be right. Something may be completely wrong, but she transforms your intellect in such a way that she makes your real understanding and your power of realization disappear. Just as when someone performs magic, he completely removes the self-control of others. In the same way, the royal Maya that makes your realization power disappear doesn't allow you to understand what is real. So Maya hypnotizes us. And so we have to stay awake and alert that she doesn't hypnotize us. because the intellect gets influence, Something may be completely wrong, but because of being under the influence of the shadow of Maya, what happens? Something is wrong, but when I'm influenced by Maya, what happens then? You become a lawyer for the Supreme Court of Maya in understanding wrong to be right and in proving it to be right. So Srimati Srimad. And when sometimes souls get influenced by their own desires or own sanskaras, then, they try to make a case for it, become a lawyer for it. But Srimati Srimad, it's quite clear what Baba wants of us. So what do lawyers do? They are very clever at proving something false to be true. They are clever at proving the truth to be the truth, but they are still clever at proving something false to be true as well. They are clever at both. So this is why Babdada is making you doubly underline the word attention. Constantly keep yourself safe from the subtle form of the shadow of Maya that transforms your power of realization. Because Maya is especially carrying out her task in this form. Do you understand? So what will you do? Remain careful. If any special soul gives you a signal, then remove yourself from that shadow of Maya and put yourself, that is, especially put your mind and intellect under the support of the Father's canopy of protection. It's a very lovely yukti that Baba is saying, that whenever there's any doubt or confusion or whatever, it's like, don't try to work it out. In a way, just put yourself under Baba's canopy. And if you just allow yourself that time of quietness under Baba's canopy, you will see things for what they are and then be able to make the right decisions. Because when there's any kind of emotion that's influencing us, it clouds our intellect. There isn't clarity then. So it's best to, step aside a bit then, pause, and let it be a long enough pause. Just connect with Baba and allow Baba's remembrance to bring clarity back for the self. So at present, there is a particular influence of Maya on minds in how they create negative thoughts and feelings. And Maya is also carrying out her special task of stopping intellects from having accurate realizations. When it is a particular season, you pay special attention to protecting yourself from that season. For instance, when it rains, what attention would you pay? What would you do when it rains? You would have an umbrella. You would have a raincoat. You would pay attention to this, would you not? When it is cold, you wear warm clothes. You would pay attention to this, would you not? So especially imbibe a means of safety in advance, so that your minds and intellects do not become influenced. And the means of safety is our practices. So study and then practice. That's our means of safety. So especially imbibe a means of safety in advance so that your minds and intellects do not become influenced. The special means of safety is very easy. You were also told earlier that the one word point is easy. It is easy, is it not? One word is easy, is it not? Baba did not tell you something complicated, did he? You continue to say, I, a soul, am a point. I, a soul, am the form of light. But you do not stabilize yourself in that form. So we remind ourselves, but do we stabilize ourselves? And do we go into the feeling of being a point? So not just the remembering or visualizing, but also the feeling of being a point. You try to put a point, but it becomes a point with a tail. So the point with the tail. So it becomes a question mark or an exclamation mark instead. Is it easy to put a point or to put an exclamation mark or put a question mark? So exclamation mark, what does that mean? I get shocked. I get surprised. And question mark, I get confused. Why, what, how? So there's worry that comes then. So it is easy to put a full stop. So why do you get involved with a question mark or an exclamation mark? Adopt this method. It is the season for proving the false to be true. The false would be even more clear and attractive than the truth. In the same way, it is a fashion nowadays for false things to be so attractive that in front of them, the value of real things is reduced. Look at real silver and look at white silver. Which one seems beautiful? Real silver would become dull, whereas white silver would constantly shine. And so which one would attract, white or real? So recognize the season. Recognize the form of Maya. Recognize the different games of Tamoguni nature. One is to know, and the other is to recognize. There's in Hindi, there's a lovely word, parakni shakti, and it really means to be able to recognize and discern. So we have knowledge, but we also need, when we use knowledge, it gives us this ability to have that discernment and recognize things for what their real value is, and not to get caught up by appearances. So one is to know and the other is to recognize. You know a great deal, but you sometimes make a mistake when it comes to recognizing, and sometimes you are right. What will you do now? You will remain safe, will you not? Do not say later that you did not think that it could ever happen like this. This why and what will not do. Baba even now has a little mercy And so he only takes a few steps. But later, no one will listen to what and why. So you can't say, Baba, I wanted to remember you, but, and this one or that, this one gives me trouble and this one does this. And he's going to say, no time for excuses, no what or why. Baba even now has a little mercy, and so he only takes a few steps. But later, no one will listen to what and why. It should not be like this, but like this. This way of advocating will not do. Become a judge. Do not be Maya's lawyer. Do not become a lawyer for Maya. You enjoy yourself a great deal when you advocate, when you fight for a case. All of you are experienced in this, either in doing it or in listening to it. All of you are experienced in this. You do have this experience, do you not? You listen to it and you remain cheerful as a detached observer. Did you understand this clearly? Did the Pandavas understand this? Did the Shaktis understand this? Did the teachers understand this? All of you are saying, yes, yes. And so what does Baba say next? A photo of yes is being taken of all of you. Baba's gathering proof. Papa used to sometimes say, raise your hands, I'm going to become complete. And then he would tell Tulsi Bai, in those days was Om Shanti Bhavan, and Tulsi Bai would be taking the video and he'll say, turn the camera. They're all raising their hands. So it's like proof. He used to play with us. So the third season is that of coming into relationship and contact and dealing with the weaknesses of one's nature and sanskaras. The expansion of this is very big. Baba will not tell you about this today, but some other time. Many children say, what can I do? I did not have this before, but I don't know what happens now. I did not have this sanskar before, but it has emerged now. So Baba will tell you some other time the reason for it and the way it grows. Acha, it's like the next chapter is coming. Prepare yourself. So to all the Chatrak children, Chatrak means the ones who are thirsty for every drop of knowledge. So to all the Chatrak children in all four directions who listen to and imbibe the elevated versions of Bapdada, to the close souls who have all the subjects in their awareness and have become embodiments of them, to the elevated souls who put every aspect of knowledge into practice in the form of light and might, to the enlightened souls, the children of the Father, who constantly make the qualifications equal to their aim, to those who constantly remain under the Father's canopy of protection and thereby remain safe from the shadow of Maya, to the special souls who put into their practical lives the specialities of knowing and recognizing. To such children, love, remembrance, and namaste from Bapdada. And then Baba was meeting the daddies personally. The Shakti army is moving at a fast speed, is it not? As well as Bab Dada, you instrument souls are also responsible for making the army move along. The Father is constantly with you and will constantly remain with you. That's Baba's promise. He is with us and will always remain with us. You are Bab Dada's elevated arms, are you not? The Father gives you power. The Father is the form of might. But you souls are the instruments in the form of mics. So it's such a lovely relationship in a way. A mic amplifies the sound, makes the sound louder, but without the current, the mic is useless, right? So the whole thing, yes, each one is a mic, but without the connection, without the current, the mic is useless in a way. So it's lovely. Baba needs the mic to spread the sound, but we need to stay connected so we can allow ourselves to be used as a mic. And that's what instrument consciousness is about. It's allowing Baba to use me by making myself available and by making sure my connection is there. So then Baba can use me. If my connection is not there, then Baba can't use the soul. So Baba is saying the Father is the form of might, but you souls are the instruments in the form of mics. You listen to so many joyful things. It seems like a game, does it not? It is a game, is it not? While playing games, you will become victorious and make everyone victorious and conquerors of Maya. You have this guarantee. However, in between, you have to see these games. So Baba's giving the guarantee. Ultimately, there's victory for all. But up until then, there'll be many games that you have to watch. So you don't get tired, do you? While laughing and playing, you overcome things and enable others to overcome them. And when you hear of anything, what emerges in your heart? So when you hear of anything, what emerges in your heart? Vah, drama. It was, who was sharing? I think Maureen Ben was sharing the story. Daddy Janki was in Pune with Sheel Daddy. No, she was in Pune. And when Brahma Baba left the body, and Sheel Daddy had called her to tell her that Baba has left the body. And Sheel Daddy called, and all she said was drama, 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 drama. Daddy Janki saying, what drama? Sheel Daddy couldn't even, first. And then after a while, she said, this is what has happened. But it was like they're all just like hung on to that understanding. It's drama, and drama means there's some secret behind this, and that just gave them the stability in that moment when Baba left the body, because it was sudden. It wasn't like Baba had been ill for a period of time. It was sudden. So this lesson of drama was very deeply embedded in them. So Baba saying, while laughing and playing, you overcome things and enable others to overcome them. And when you hear of anything, what emerges in your heart? Va, drama. Va. The words, oh drama, oh do not emerge. Vatrama. While saying va, everyone has to become va. You have to overcome all this. And then Baba was meeting some personal groups. Victory is our birthright. Experience the stage of being free from obstacles with this faith and intoxication. So just as the Father is the highest on high, in the same way, do you move along whilst experiencing yourselves to be the highest on high souls. For the people of the world, after the Father, the most elevated and highest on high are the deities. However, the people of the world do not know that you Brahmin souls, you angels, are even higher than the deities. The deity's status cannot be called higher than Brahman life. The Brahman life of the present time is more elevated. You know very well why you are more elevated than the deities. The knowledge from the Father will not be in an emerged form when you are in your deity forms. So knowledge gets merged at that point in time. The sanskaras of knowledge are emerged, but knowledge gets merged. So we don't remember, cycle. We don't even remember God. But the sanskaras being connected stays. So the Brahman life of the present time is more elevated. You experience meeting God in this Brahman life, not in the deity life. Brahmins become deities, but at this time you are more elevated than you are in your deity life. Therefore, constantly have this intoxication, not just sometimes, because the Father is imperishable and the knowledge that the imperishable Father gives is also imperishable. The awareness that He gives you is also imperishable, not just sometimes. So check whether you constantly have this intoxication or only sometimes. You experience pleasure when you have this intoxication all the time. If you have it sometimes and not at other times, then sometimes you experience pleasure and at other times you experience or you become confused. So do not experience pleasure one moment and be confused in the next, but constantly experience pleasure. You constantly have to breathe. So in the same way, do you constantly experience pleasure in this Brahman life? Let each breath be a pleasurable breath, not a struggle, but an easy breath. So if you are not experiencing pleasure, you would definitely be confused. So do your mothers constantly experience pleasure? You are Shaktis, are you not? You are not ordinary, are you? Or is it that when you go home, you become ordinary? No, always remember that you are Shaktis. You do not belong to anything limited, but you are unlimited world benefactors. Shaktis means those who gain victory over the devils. Shaktis are known as the destroyers of evil. That is, those who destroy the devilish sanskaras. So are all of you Shaktis so courageous? Pandavas means victory. Pandavas can never say that they do not want that, but that they are defeated. You have experienced defeat for half a cycle, and it is now the time to experience victory. If at the time of victory you are defeated, then when would you become victorious? Now is the time of our victory, so we have to be victorious now. You have experienced defeat for half a cycle, and it is now the time to experience victory. This is why you are constantly victorious at this time. Victory is your birthright. No one lets go of their right. They claim it even after having to fight for it. Whereas here, you receive it easily. Victory is your birthright. You have the intoxication and happiness of having a right, do you not? You have so much intoxication of having a limited right. Would a prime minister forget that he is a prime minister? When he is sleeping or eating, would he forget that he is a prime minister? Whether you have a limited right or an unlimited right, no matter how much someone may try to make you forget it, you would never forget it. It is Maya's task to make you forget it, and your task is to be victorious. It's this whole distinction of whether I allow myself to get into ordinary consciousness. When I think of myself in an ordinary way, then in that ordinary way, then that's what I have access to in myself. But if I really keep that awareness, I'm a Brahmin, and what does it mean to be a Brahmin? Then that awareness gives me access to unlimited capacity. So it is really about where and how I see myself and what awareness I hold of myself. Because I could be doing an ordinary task, but with an unlimited consciousness, and then the experience of that becomes unlimited. So anything simple even, it's not the task that defines the stage of consciousness of the soul and the experience of the soul. It's really the awareness I hold and what I bring into what I do that creates the experience. And that's what makes that ordinary task punya karma, that it becomes an act of charity because it is supported with an elevated consciousness. So that's what makes it punya. Yeah. So Baba's saying here, it is Maya's task to make you forget it, and your task is to be victorious because you understand what victory and defeat are. You have experienced defeat and you also experience victory. So you know the difference between what happened by being defeated and what happened by being victorious. You know the difference between the two, and this is why you are constantly victorious and will constantly remain victorious. Because your souls have the right to imperishable attainments from the imperishable Father, this consciousness must constantly emerge in you. What if it is not like that? We have become this. We do know. Let it not be like this. It has to be in practical form. Those who know this move along with this faith. Let there be the faith and intoxication of victory in your every act. How do I know that I'm moving along with faith in victory? How do I know that I'm moving along with faith? I'm not fluctuating. Yeah. Don't get influenced. I don't get sucked in by the drama. Yeah. I don't worry. Because worry is a form of doubt. Will I not? Will it work? Will it not work? And so that means my faith is not clear. And I like this point Baba once made. He said, before you begin a task, begin the task with this deep faith that it is already accomplished, that it's already successful. And so in a way, I know that it's going to be fine. But of course, I do what I need to do to get to that. But I don't worry, will it work out or will it not work out? I know it's fine. I'm just going to do the practical steps that I need to do. And when there is that kind of faith, then the soul remains light while engaging in the task. Because what makes us heavy is that subtle fear, whether it's going to work out or not. When there's that worry, that's what makes me heavy. Then I get attached to outcome. But when I have that faith, then what happens? I remain light and I flow. I flow with whatever the drama is doing at that moment. But I know it's already accomplished. And I think, in Madhuban, doing service is a very good experience. One reason is that the program changes every day and sometimes 3 times a day because 1 minute you're going to have a class with Jayanti Ben and the next minute she can't make it and you have to find a replacement. And so for the audience it's flowing. For us behind the scenes it's a constant juggling act. And so you just know it will all be fine. You have to work with that awareness and remain easy. And really, it always works out to the best of what it should be. But it's a very good, what can I say, training ground that really to have that faith that it's already done, it's perfect, it's the way it's going to be best for everyone. And you flow with the drama. Don't resist the change. Don't say, like we had the plan for the regional meetings to be on one day, and Mohini Didi then decides she wants it 2 days earlier. And now that meant, checking with 5 different RCs and that they're all available and all of that. And it was just because a handful of souls from Mohini Didi's region were leaving earlier than the regional meeting. So that's why she wanted it changed. And so I said, Maria, what we're going to do? Maria's the main coordinator. She says, we'll make it work. I said, okay. And that's it. It was just really, if this is the requirement, we'll flow with it. And everything, then everyone's happy. And it all works out fine. So it is, you can plan. And we've been having meetings like 3 months in advance. And at one point every week and one point twice a week. But you have to remain flexible. You plan, but you remain flexible. So that's what Baba's saying in a way. I lost my place completely. Sorry. So So let there be the faith and intoxication of victory in your every act. The basis of intoxication is faith. If you lack faith, you lack intoxication. This is why it is said, those whose intellect have faith are victorious. So what is the foundation? Faith. Do not be those who have faith only sometimes. Otherwise, at the end, at the time of the result, you will have attainment only sometimes, and you will also have to repent. Now is the time to attain. Otherwise, later there will be repentance. So at the time of attaining, attain something. At the time of repentance, you will not be able to attain anything. We will do it, it will happen. Let it not be like this. Have the faith that you have to do it. Do not move along with the assurance that you will do it. We are doing it. What else can happen? It will happen. No, it has to happen now. Do not say it will happen, but it is. Daddy would always say, Kal kisne dekha? Who has seen tomorrow? Whatever elevated task you want to perform, do it now. She always used to say that. So do not say it will happen, but it is. You challenge others and tell them that one cannot rely on one's life. You give others this knowledge, and so first give yourselves this knowledge. Are you those who will do this at some time, or those who will do it now? So you are the souls who constantly claim a right to victory. Victory is your birthright. Continue to fly with this awareness. No matter what happens, have the awareness that you are constantly victorious. No matter what happens, if your faith is firm, no one can do anything. Acha? Now each of you has to perform such a wonder that every place is victorious, that is free from obstacles. Let there be no obstacles. Obstacles may come, but do not be defeated. Where there is victory, obstacles will be removed, and you will become free from obstacles. Show the wonder of being constantly free from obstacles. No matter which Gita Patshala, sub-center or center it may be, become free from obstacles yourself and also make others free from obstacles. Show such wonders. You have to do this. Not that you will do it at some point. You will see about it. To say will do means to have a percentage in your faith. Let everyone hear the good news that all the small and big centers are free from obstacles. No type of obstacle can come. We will finish the obstacles of others and become victorious. Let there be such news received. Let there not be any news of obstacles from anywhere. Let it not be that you say, I am fine, but what can I do when the others are doing this? Demonstrate this by being victorious for 3 months. Everything will be known in 3 months. All of you are saying yes, so demonstrate it by showing this wonder. Acha. So Baba spoke this Murli in January, so he was giving them 3 months by the end of March, then to say, okay, who are you free from obstacles? So before the season ends, Baba was going to take the results. Yeah. And then the blessing. May you be Maya proof and remain safe in every situation. How? By being merged in the one Father's love. So may you be Maya proof and remain safe in every situation by being merged in the one Father's love. The children who remain merged in the one Father's love easily stay away from vibrations and the atmosphere everywhere. Because to be merged means to be powerful like the Father and to stay safe in all situations. To be merged means to be immersed. And those who are immersed are Maya proof. Soak yourself in Baba's remembrance, not just at the surface, but soak yourself. This effort is easy, but do not get careless in the name of easy effort. The minds of careless effort makers will internally bite them, whereas externally they would be singing songs of their own praise. And the slogan, remain stable in the position of being of an ancestor. Remain stable in the position of an ancestor, and you will be freed from any bondages of Maya and matter. So the speciality of the ancestor is connected to the seed directly. So when you stay in that connection, then you're freed from the bondages of Maya and matter. Om Shanti. And then the Avyak signal for today. So it's all about accumulating in our account. So this confluence age is the age to accumulate. And so check your account of accumulation. Be a checker. I think that's a word Baba's made up. Be a checker and also a maker. Because we are seeing the scenes of the closeness of time. And everyone has promised we will become equal. So in order to become equal to Father Brahma, your account of accumulation has to be full. Now make plans to save time, thoughts, and energy, and increase the stage of the point form. So today the point form is getting drilled in us. Eh? So Baba is saying, now make plans to save time, thoughts, and energy, and increase the stage of the point form. Be the point, apply the point, remember the point. Yeah. Good summary of everything. So let's take a moment of remembrance, and then we can share some points. You can still go fetch the book. Yeah. So, what are we going to take from Baba's Murli today? Yeah. So this whole thing of the study, he said study and sustenance, two main important aspects. And the focus Baba gave today was really on being the point form. Put a full stop. Don't analyze the darkness, because the darkness is just the darkness in a way. And the sign of that I am doing that is I remain carefree. Yeah, very much so. Good. Any other thoughts? Mm.
Mention of the point.
Mm.
And there's a woman who brings it on Facebook, and I didn't know she's just in the area. And I don't know how it's actually done around my came into the conversation at that point. And she said to me, "Oh, yeah, I practiced to me, yoga for me, things happen." And she said, "So what's your for?" So I think somebody, something I didn't know was there. So she also spelled it for her.
Yeah.
And then she turned to me and she said, this is energy. So what's your definition of thought?
So she at least got that point. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Anyone else? Mm. 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 So Surya Ben was just sharing the analogy of the oyster and the pearl. That yes, side scenes are the side scenes, but what is the focus? Where is it that I'm giving my energy, and what is it I'm creating and nurturing? And that's the pearl. That's where my focus should be. Yeah. And it's so important because I think more and more drama is going to become more entertaining. And don't get distracted by it. Don't get distracted by it. Yeah. We mustn't get distressed by it. So we just say it's entertaining. Gayatri Ben was sharing because there was an interview I did with her, and she was saying, the two words that they're using in the Pentagon as well, actually, is one was awe and the other one was I can't remember the other word, but the element of it was that you either get surprised by things and shocked by things, or you get awed by things. And awed by things means, in a way, it's like there's a different response. When I get shocked by things, then I either freeze or I get into panic mode. But when I get awed by things and I see the drama and just saying, this is what Baba has been telling us. And so there's that sense of wonder as I see drama unfolding as Baba has seen us. It helps us to give a different response then to it, not to get entangled by it or not to get even handicapped by what is happening, but that we can remain in our power and we can respond from a different place. So yeah, it is this whole thing of really, put things in perspective and let Gyan be the means by which I put things in perspective. Don't let my sanskaras be what I'm using to put things into perspective, but let Gyan be the way that I put things into perspective. Yeah. Mm. Mm. So that's why yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's very intense in the drama out there. And so we must just stay focused on what we need to do. Yeah. 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 It was, yeah. When we were in Madhuban, I think Jayanti Ben was saying, you can't get tomatoes in UK. You can't get cucumbers in UK. So it is what it is. It is what it is. And to try and, for a Lokik soul, to try and make sense of it and to try and fix it, it's an impossible task. So what is our responsibility in a way is just really to, one thing is to keep our own stability, but really to have compassion, because that's what souls need now. Yeah. But what else do we want to take for our own practice? No matter what happens, constantly let your intellect have the firm faith. I am a constantly victorious soul. Yeah, that's it. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else? That's it. Baba very powerfully and beautifully shared that this birth is even more elevated than your deity form. So don't wait to be a deity to be happy. Be aware of what it means right now, that I know Baba now, I know Gyan now. I have access to the greatest. And that intoxication will keep you full and let you take the fullness what Baba has to offer. Yeah. And this is the time of accumulation. Really to be aware, I'm creating my whole cycle now. I'm creating my eternity now, in a way. So being aware of what it is that God's offering me, am I taking it, And as Baba's saying, don't say, I will, because that time will pass. And then you say, I should have. And that's repentance then, But right now, just do what I need to do and take what I need to take. Yeah. Anyone else? Rita, you look like you had a point ready there.
First thinking that is the point, right point for the end of it. And then you went on to say that just accept when this complete. As long as it's saying it's not, and accept it positively, and your life will go smoothly. Seeing that happen.
Yeah.
The practice gets better.
Yeah. It's this thing of acceptance. The opposite of acceptance is resistance. And when there's resistance, it's like the resistance comes because I'm attached. I'm attached to the way I think it should be, and we were talking about it actually as a group. We were having breakfast, and one of the sisters is quite involved in service of environment. And we were just saying that the science is out there. It's telling us where we're heading as a world because of climate change. And the signs are there as well. The science is one thing, but the signs are there. We're seeing more upheaval in many different ways, weather-wise. Even the earthquakes, they say, is related to climate change, because as the glaciers are melting, it's shifting the plates. And that's why we're finding such severe earthquakes happening as well. And so everything is there and it's obvious the change that's needed. But it's still like governments and people in positions in business are unable to act. And it's almost like knowledge alone doesn't let souls act. There has to be a kind of a realization that allows souls to act. And so because, and what prevents people from acting on the basis of knowledge is their attachments. It's like the attachment is greater than even the understanding that they have at that moment in time. And therefore you can understand why destruction has to take place, because destruction is the key or the method for souls to break attachments. Because it's only when you break attachment, then do you allow something new to emerge. Otherwise you're holding on. And so the same thing in a way that we have all the understanding. Baba's given us all the knowledge. But if we're not going to like really release ourselves from our attachments through that understanding, then the only way that that attachment will break will be through suffering. So, suffering becomes the method then to break the attachment. So like the choice is even ours. We can see it at the macro scale in the world, but even at the micro scale, if I keep resisting, it's because of an attachment. And that then it will become painful before then I will let go. But I don't have to let it become painful to let go. I can work on understanding knowledge and taking power from Baba and breaking through those attachments. And that is the choice that I have as a Brahmin. All of us.
Most of you know I've had 3 daughters and I lost one.
Mm.
And then I have 2 now. I lost the first one. The Shankar qualified and it's no first. She got placed in March. And with my knowledge and joining the Kumaris on a more regular basis, the knowledge that I'm imbibing, whatever it is on a Sunday and weekday, I was able to let her go without any attachment. And then in the last month, Aleka had a lot of interviews and I never realized that she wanted to actually know and go to, and she had a job opportunity at stage 3 to start warehouse in logistics of being. And she wanted it badly. And yes, I didn't come to the last night because I was definitely not crying about it. Because I understood that was drama. And now I'm living Baba's words,
Yeah.
And the only reason that I didn't come was I needed to get her ready, make plans, because a few days she made the decision to go to Cape Town, and she flew on Monday, and she said, "Well, we're living with her aunt. It's a big case, so it's good for us." So, and she will into her plans at the end of the month. But I'm just saying that I have grown so much from this knowledge. I said, "Go." I didn't cry. I'm sending you blessings. In the morning, I'm sending you whatever I need to send you. And I said, go and fly. And it was not what I did when I lost my first child. Because I was attached. And yes, wouldn't be attached.
Yeah.
But I have learned from knowledge that that I am practicing. Every day I get some message and it's making me stronger.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
The word of Baba.
That's it. So as Baba said, understand, recognize, and apply. And then, exactly. And then you reap the fruit of that. And that's you remain carefree and light. Oh, good. Exactly. That's it. So Sampurnaben is just saying the 18th chapter of the Gita is all about attachment, the breaking of attachment. There's a verse there that said, Nashto Moha Smriti Swarup. Yeah. To break all attachments and become the embodiment of awareness of Baba. Okay, wonderful. So we'll offer Bhog now. I'm going to ask Shanta, come. Give the Madhuban Drishti as well. And maybe Sarla Ben, you sit one side. Okay. Freddy, you must just press the button, right? You must press that button again so we can hear the music. Yeah. I mean, now, yeah, just once. Yeah.
जाने क्या देखा मुझ में, जाने क्या देखा मुझ में, मुझे प्यार कर लिया। मेरे लाडले कहा, मेरे लाडले कहा, आंचल में भर लिया। जाने क्या देखा मुझ में, तेरा प्यार सोच करके आंखों में आंसू आए। मोती इन्हें बनाकर दिल में लिया समाए। नैनों से जादू करके, नैनों से जादू करके गम सारा लिया। मेरे लाडले कहा, मेरे लाडले कहा, आंचल में भर लिया। जाने क्या देखा मुझ में, नहीं थी खूबी काबिल न थे तुम्हारे। सोचा नहीं कभी था बदलेंगे दिन हमारे। गागर में मन के मेरे, गागर में मन के मेरे, सागर को भर दिया। मेरे लाडले कहा, मेरे लाडले कहा, आंचल में भर लिया। जाने क्या देखा मुझ में, गोदी में पापा तेरे मनवा करे किलोले। आनंद सिंधु लेता अंतर में है हिलोरे। अपना बना के हमको, अपना बना के हमको क्या से क्या कर दिया मेरे लाडले कहा, मेरे लाडले कहा, आंचल में भर दिया। जाने क्या देखा मुझ में, जाने क्या देखा मुझ में, मुझे प्यार कर लिया। मेरे लाडले कहा, मेरे लाडले कहा, आंचल में भर लिया। जाने क्या देखा मुझ में। As the sun slowly sets o'er the mighty west, and thoughts will turn to home, felt the rising of the tide, felt the loneliness inside start to fade. Oh, wandered walked you, oh, wandered walked you, oh, wandered walked you. Some nights too. Dolivera, when the heart would say, how could it be but any other way when leaving home? 'Cause home is where the heart is, and where the Father sits and waits for you. Oh, wandered walked you, oh, wandered walked you, oh, wandered walked you. Some nights Lord, the storms at sea are fading, my eyes turn gently to the shore, and what is more there, the golden sparrow waits. Oh, wandered walked you, oh, wandered walked you, oh, wandered walked you. Porbandar Dwarka Diu, Porbandar Dwarka Diu, Porbandar